Hey, I'm James with Falcons Fury Harley-Davidson, and today we have another old school comparison for you. We're going to look at Okay, so today's comparison is Fat Boy against Fat Boy.
And I don't doesn't mean James versus
Yeah, I was just gonna say I don't want any bloody comments from you. I have been dreading doing this. We've been holding off doing the Fat Boy because I know that this bastard will not be able to stop. But anyway, Fat Boy, we got the twin cam. We have the Milwaukee 8. We've got the Fat Boy S in the twin cam because we do have the 114 here, so that evens up the comparison a little bit. So the Fat Boy is probably one of the most iconic Harley-Davidsons, isn't it? I mean, this has been in films, televisions. I'm pretty sure it's been in novels. I haven't actually read it in a novel, but I'm sure a Fat Boy
If not,
is.
we're going to write one.
Right. If it's not, it should be in a novel. It is extremely iconic. It's got the massive front wheels, the massive back wheels, even more so now with the Milwaukee 8. I mean, they just went insane on this.
This is like a pregnant version of this.
Yeah, it is.
But in a lot of ways.
That's Wayne gone past.
I think that, well, I'm going to be honest. I've heard talks, and I'm not going to tell you how I feel about it, but I've heard a lot of people say that the 110 twin cam is a little torquier than the Mickey. I don't know that it's true.
One thing though, it is
to comment.
It's a lot hotter.
It's so much hotter. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
man,
the 110 twin cam, that is like an inferno between your legs, which normally you would go to the doctor about. But in this case, it's just because you have a 110 twin cam between your legs. Yep. Basically. Now, one thing I do want to clarify, the myth of the Fat Boy. I've heard many people say, oh, the bloody wind blows them all over the place because of the solid wheel. Let's take a moment to talk about physics, shall we? Take a spoked wheel, a normal spoked wheel. When that's moving really, really, really fast, stick your finger in there and see what happens.
It's going to feel really solid.
It's going to feel pretty damn solid, which is exactly the same as this. So the wind does not affect a Fat Boy in any way, shape, or form. This part is much bigger than that part. So it's the same as It's the same as any other motorcycle. So with that out the way, Jake, you want to run us through these two?
Absolutely.
Cool.
So I just want to make it abundantly clear. If you've watched any of our videos, you know exactly where I stand about this machine. It's bad. Having said all this, there are obviously some pretty great features. This was Harley's earlier water testing with blacking things out and saying, hey, this is a special model. This is going to be even better and even badder than the previous models. And I think we've accomplished that. Now, this bike has been tastefully modified. Not a lot done to it necessarily, but it's already got the big motor. It was only right that you have Screaming Eagle breather pipes. That was very necessary. So this one's going to perform really, really well. But it's only got 2 plugs and 2 valves per cylinder, so I think that it's evenly matched. I am going to pretend to think that. It's obviously a really great looking motorcycle. If I have to tell you that, well, you don't have very good taste. Having said that, this is also a really great looking motorcycle in its own right. Harley again tried new things with this Fat Boy. So the later model Fat Boys, much like this one, have gone to this brushed chrome look. It's its own thing. We've got pretty wicked colors, guys. You know what? I'm just gonna say it. I like spruce. It's good looking. Okay. I think that all these things together have really given us a wicked looking bike. I think the massive back tire is a huge focal point for most people because look at the size of the thing. That's chopper. That's old school. A lot of people dig that. I don't know how it's gonna handle, but I'm not gonna talk about that right now. We also have a massive, huge, monster, mammoth headlight to sell. Kind of unlike anything we've ever had before. I like the old school Bullet, man. I don't know. You figure it out. I think that the biggest thing for me is going to be, how does this ride? Because we know this is the new Softail frame, and we know that it's lighter than the old Softail frame. We also know it inherently rides better. It's a monoshock under the seat, guys. This is just simple physics. So, again, I see that maybe this one will have something. And a 114 is great. It's a bigger motor, so it's going to have lots of power, lots of pep. I think we'll be impressed by the machine. My big thing's going to be ride quality, handling, and power, A to B, and just seeing which one is genuinely better. And I promise, guys, I don't have my mind made up already.
So we are off on the Fat Boys. I'm riding the Milwaukee 8, the 2020 first. Jake's on the twin cam. It's a gorgeous day, perfect for a ride. The Fat Boy is, as we were saying earlier, a really, really iconic motorcycle. It sort of looks like you imagine a Harley-Davidson should look. But does it ride? Jake scraping the pegs on the twin cam there. They do sit pretty low, even this new one, not quite as low as the one up there. Alright, so we're about to hit the bridge. Comfort on the bridge. Fat Boy is a pretty comfortable motorcycle. It's got a comfortable seat right from the factory. The bars are in a good position. They're not super high, they're not super low. They're kind of in good position, to be honest. I quite like how it's sitting. You've got the floorboards, so your feet are quite comfortable. It's a nice bike. It rides well. But how does it feel? You know, those big wheels on this. I always look at it and go, wow, that's just going to be a really weird motorcycle to ride. And in some respects it is, and in other respects it isn't. So when you're traveling at this speed, we're doing what, 45 right now, it's fine. It doesn't feel any different to any other motorcycle. You don't really notice that big wheel. What I feel is that when you get into the corners, you're going to start to notice that you've got huge amounts of rubber underneath your feet. The wind on it is fine. You don't have a windshield, you can put one on. I like the naked bikes, as you know. Some people find that a windshield helps when riding, especially long distances, true. Yeah, that does sound good though. Now, that there is a 110, this is a 114. As you know, I love the 114 Milwaukee 8. It's a hugely powerful engine. It's got gobs of torque. It will just go and go forever. It's fantastic. I will say, and well, let's see how it does on the corner here. See here, you notice it. We're going slowly around the corner, and you do notice that you've got those big tyres. It just doesn't turn in as well as some. This 114 is great. It does have a lot of power. One thing I will say is, and it's just, you know, last week we rode the Lowrider S's. They feel faster. You know, it just feels like you've got a faster motorcycle. This is very laid back in some respects. It just sort of cruises around. It doesn't love to get in the twisties. It's the definitive cruiser, I suppose, in some ways. It looks really cool, and it likes to go in a straight line. It'll go around corners, but it's not as easy as some other motorcycles. Now, the 30th anniversary edition came out this year. It was all blacked out. That looks fantastic. I think that looks an absolute winner. I would love to have done a video on one, but they come to the dealership and we have them for about 24 hours and somebody snaps them up. We probably won't see any more, unfortunately, since they were limited numbers. One thing the 114 does need is a set of slip-ons at the least. Right now, there's no sound coming from it. Everything that you are hearing that's Jake on that Screaming Eagle on the 110. This 114 without pipes is very, very quiet, which is a big complaint of it. People always say it doesn't really sound like a Harley. and I would agree with that. But you can easily fix that. Instead of Reinhardts, Fenton Hines, Cobras, whatever your preferred brand is, stick them on and you'll do it. Alright, so let's try really slow maneuvering speed around the corner here. You have to fight it a little bit, I'm not going to lie, you do have to fight it a little bit to get it around. You saw I went a little wide on the corner, and it was partly my fault because I wasn't really bending over as much as I should have, but it's, what's up, man? Yeah. It's just not as fantastic as some of the other motorcycles I've ridden. But having said that, you do feel quite cool on this motorcycle, and as we said last week, that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's just, you know, you feel cool on motorcycles, and the Fat Boy definitely. What did you see that? There was like a whole bloody hell. There was a whole family of goats back there. Someone lost their goats. I think it was this guy who we almost crashed into because we was busy paying attention to the bloody goats. That was fantastic. I think there was about 6 or 7 of them. Little baby goats and mummy goats and daddy goats. Ah, it's fantastic. Alright, so sorry. Goats. Yeah, that does sound good. New construction corner. Here's the good test for how maneuverable these things are. And it'll do it all fine. I mean, it's not a problem. But it's not as nimble as the Lowrider S or a lot of the other motorcycles we've test ridden. It's you have to fight it just a little bit more in the corners than you would on something with slightly thinner tyres. That's kind of the price you pay, isn't it, for having those big, thick, cool-looking tyres. You are going to lose just a little bit of manoeuvrability. But I have to be honest with you. I'm always honest with you guys, right? And it's not really igniting any fires in me, this motorcycle. It just sort of, it is. You know what I mean? Sometimes you ride a motorcycle and it stirs your soul. This Fat Boy is just sort of, it is. It's nice. I mean, it's pleasant. It's an enjoyable ride, but it's just not stirring me, really. And you know, that's the great thing about Harley. We make so many motorcycles. Some people might absolutely love this, and some people, you know, like myself here, just not quite so moved by it. I'm excited to get on the 110. That's going to be a lot different. It's going to be fun. So we'll see. Now we'll leave it running for. Hey, did you see those goats? I know, I don't know, mate. Oh, it's a lot lower. You set a lot lower on this. Clean it off. Nice bike. It sounds good right off the bat, and let's see how it. You know what? It actually turns a little bit easier as well. This does have slightly thinner tyres and wheels on. Ah, it sounds good. So I have to separate myself from the sound and how it actually rides, because you know, sometimes you hear something that sounds good and you think, oh, it's great. Typically speaking, I always prefer the Milwaukee 8 engines over the twin cams, just because of the lack of vibration and the just the refinement of it. And you know, I don't know. There's something about this twin cam and just the Fat Boy in general, the vibrations that I'm feeling through it sort of fits the motorcycle. Could it be? You know what? I think I might prefer this twin cam to the M8. That would be a first. It does. It turns in better than the new one. It just. You can get it down a little bit. Oh, look. Oh, well, there he goes. He scrapes. He loves scraping pegs, doesn't he? Ah, there's something about the rumble on this and the vibration that just sort of makes it feel like you would expect a Fat Boy to feel. It is exciting me more than the M8, and that's weird because I am usually not that. It turns nice. This one turns great. I'm really impressed with it. Yeah. Wow, this is a turn up, because I didn't think this would be the case. But in this instant, I think I prefer this twin cam. It just fits the bike better. It feels more alive. You know, the M8 Fat Boys, it's very pedestrian. Maybe pedestrian is not the right word for it, but it is. It's easy going, and I think a Fat Boy needs to be a bit more. You want to feel like the Terminator on it, and you feel like the Terminator on this bike. I don't look like the Terminator, but I feel like a Terminator. On the other one, I just felt like I was just riding a motorcycle. Oh, I love it. Twin cam. Yay. Look at it. I've turned in a Jake. What the hell is going on? I've literally turned in a Jake. It's so nice. So anyway, we're back at the dealership. We'll wrap it up and then we'll go up top for final thoughts. We already know what Jake's final thoughts are. He prefers the one I'm on right now, but I think he's going to be surprised that I prefer this one as well. I'm shocked. We'll give him a bump. We'll see you up top, guys.
All right, guys, so final thoughts, and you may have noticed we're wearing different clothes. I've got this pretty spectacular hat on that I just found.
That's correct.
Yesterday, with all the excitement of those goats on the side of the road, I forgot to hit record when we were doing the final thoughts, so that has vanished into the ether. So final thoughts. Actually, you know what? Let me go first because this will surprise you all. I liked the twin cam in the Fat Boy. I thought it was really, really good. I think I preferred it to the M8.
Guys, yesterday he was so excited about that twin cam. He's going to play it down today. Because the ether has died a little bit. But yesterday, this wasn't a guesswork deal. This was so much enthusiasm for a twin cam that I couldn't believe it was James.
It's true. No, it was really, really good.
It was so good.
Yeah.
And this,
really
I guess I'm going to be a little softer too than I was yesterday. The M8 Fat Boy is good.
It's a great motorcycle. It's just not my cup of tea, which that's why we make so many different ones, because some people love street glides, some people don't, some people love the Fat Boy, some people don't. I happen to fall a little bit into that last group. I wasn't a huge fan. It just didn't have enough soul for me. But the M8, no, the twin cam, excuse me, that was fun.
Does that burn coming out of your mouth? Does it taste funny?
It tastes a little weird. It does taste weird because normally I'm the M8 advocate. But in the Fat Boy, it was just the twin cam. It was a better motorcycle. It handled better. I don't know if that's because the tires just went a little too big on the M8. I don't know what. There was just something about it. It just the twin cam was better.
This is going to really surprise a lot of y'all because I am normally the twin cam guy.
Yeah.
And so I've got to come out and say it. No, I'm just kidding, guys.
Yeah,
you know I love the twin cam. Are y'all crazy? You really thought I was going there? No, the twin cam was so good.
It was good.
And we did stack the deck against the poor M8. I know it's a 114 and it's a better platform as far as the engine goes. But a 110 Fat Boy.
It was a lot of fun.
Murdered out.
A lot of fun.
Is so good looking.
Yeah.
It's like that huge high school crush that never went away.
Yeah, his was Barry. And on that, we'll see you next time.